the Draugen in the beginning was a dead man. And when we think about Christianity, of course, a dead man should be found and brought and buried in the churchyard, in holy earth, you know. And it was a very bad fate or ending to lie at the sea bottom and never be found by your own people and brought to the church. And by and by there evolved an idea that sea ghost had bad intentions, because they wanted to be found, and if they weren't found, they would have some kind of revenge. That is a thinking of that kind that lies behind, I think. And at last it became, Draugen became a monster. Not one person, one single person, but as a monster representing them all. It would be a bad omen, a bad sign to meet the Draug. And I will mention some typical Draug stories. For instance, when the fishermen were ashore and their boat were placed ashore and with their, oar, then you could know that the Draug has been there if the oars were placed in the wrong direction. You should always have the oars placed in that way that if you needed to act quickly, you can just do so and row quickly. But he placed them in the wrong direction, so it would take a bit longer time. That was one typical sign of him. But it also happened that during the night, when people had some reasons to go out to sea after the boats or doing something else, they could see or at least hear Draugen in the boat. And then he was going from one, thwart to another. He made an inspection. It doesn't suit me here. It doesn't suit me here. Oh, here it suits me, he said. Then it was his destiny that one of the shipmates should lose his life at sea. So it was the place that man used to sit in the boat. Yeah. And then it's quite typical that the quick-witted man, he says something like, "Yes, if it suits you, it suits me too." And then he would take an oar or something else and bang along to give so the Draug has to flee.
Right.
Yes. And of course, in many ways, it was dangerous. The Draug would come back and take revenge. But one of the ways to make it impossible to him to do that was to throw fecalia on him from human shit. Yeah. When a man is walking along the shore for some reason, the Draug, or even the Draugs, several of them, may come and try to attack him and take him to the sea, to drown him. And it always is the part of the story that the man who is walking along, he has a churchyard near him.
Right.
And then he shouts, "Up all Christian men and help me." And then all the dead people in the churchyard will come up with their coffin boats and so on, and take a battle with the Draugs from the sea, who use sea tangle stems and such things to protect them. And also a hand with earth from the churchyard.
Right.
Very bad to the Draugen. And then you could hear, if they did so, you could hear the screaming all for a long, long distance ashore when he fled away. It's a very typical typical story about the Draug.